Guys, come on up. Dan, you'll be in the middle. You'll have a 10-second head start over Joon on the left, who will have a 2.5-second head start over David on the right. And while they're getting set up, let's have a hand for Robin Weintraub for this puzzle.
For those of you who don't know, they're listening to white noise, right? A conversation.
Yeah, this is, Julia Parisi, a contestant from years ago, did an audio recording of a meeting at the United Nations when hundreds of diplomats were speaking in many different languages, turned that into an audio tape, which is being fed into their ears, and you'd think that solving a puzzle with all these people talking might be distracting. It's actually very soothing, besides blocking out outside sounds.
That's what I'm usually called, outside sounds.
I think we're ready. So, the clock is ready. On your mark, get set, Dan, begin.
Dan, first time ever competing.
Joon, begin. David, begin.
That 10-second head start's going to mean a lot.
Yeah.
It is, actually.
Yeah.
A little history, actually.
Sure, I'd love history.
In 2010, Dan won the A championship for the first time, first of 7 times he's won. Joon Pahk that year won the B championship, and David Plotkin was in the C final. So this matchup has been in the making for 9 years. They've been in finals together. Dan and Joon were in both in last year. Dan and David both last year. Dan and Joon the year before. Dan and David. It's a little silly to say that because if you say Dan and anyone, they were in the finals.
They were in the finals
recently.
I will say I was very impressed that the very first clue that Dan filled in was for down. The answer being Tex, which I thought was an extremely hard clue to answer. Title character in an S.E. Hinton novel.
Right. Everyone knows The Outsiders. The Outsider doesn't fit.
Right. But
nobody, I thought nobody had heard of Tex. I certainly never heard of it.
Nope.
Dan reads it every night.
Well,
he's like, Tex! Yeah. I love that book.
You're wondering why it didn't become a bestseller, but you wonder who reads it. Dan, the one person who read that. And then he was able to just entirely fill that in quite quickly.
Yeah, we have 15 minutes worth of jokes, Dan, so slow down. He also got one across, which is a terrific killer A clue. It's Kid Rock, question mark?
Kid Rock, which when I first read it, I ignored the lack of capitalization, and I was like, Kid Rock, the musician, made it into a crossword puzzle?
He's like the fist of politics.
Yeah, that's right.
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
No, it's, of course, rock, paper, scissors, what
that's
a kid
right.
would do.
Of course, but I never do that. I usually extend my hand out as if I'm showing my diamond. That's how I do a rock. Oh, wow. That's another one of our favorites.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Here it's... Dang, that's good.
Right, and in the
Tex. Dang, that's good, Tex.
In the B's, it was, I was not expecting that. And in the C, it was awesome. I mean, oh wow could have been clued by 49 across. Cry from a field. Oh wow,
Cry from a field. Actually, cry from a field, I feel, could be many of these answers. I would answer, if I was crying from a field, I'm sure I'd be saying something more like 42nd Street, that's hilarious. 42 across. If I was alone in the field, I'd probably say to whoever left me there, in retrospect.
In retrospect.
I didn't know you'd leave me alone with just an Oreo.
Cry from a field. Oreo!
Oreo! Just one? No?
No, bring them all. So Robin, made
wow.
this a very hard puzzle, except for Dan, who's filled in the top half pretty much without stopping. There's some extraordinary...
He knows...
Five across, sibling of Nephthys.
That's amazing.
He probably said, it could be Osiris or Haroeris, but those don't fit, so it must be
Right.
Isis.
Exactly.
That's what he's thinking. I mean, another great clue, 18 across, having a silver lining, gray-haired. The opposite of wet behind the ears, which would be naive.
I like that he has not yet filled in, and it just is the way his eyes are gazing, perhaps, but he has not yet filled in the 36 across.
Try something new. Well, he's got a problem with
That's right.
the 31 down, clued here as 1940s The Thief of Baghdad character. He's written Ali. He's thinking of the movie Aladdin, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe there isn't. Maybe Muhammad Ali was in that movie.
Maybe it's a different S.E. Hinton novel that I'm not familiar with.
He's trying.
But
he realized there's a mistake.
He's figured it out.
Meanwhile, David has worked from the lower left to the upper right, which is unconventional. But the truth is, you got to start where you can break in.
Right. And he's flipping around a little bit.
He's got a tough 21 across is clued as so-called whales. He
Yes.
started with big. That seems reasonable. If they're whales, they might be big somethings.
I would think so.
But as the other two got, they're high rollers.
But then again, as he just very, all of a sudden just was like, aha, yes, of all of these right now, 6 down has come to me.
Right. It's Carl Icahn. He just put him in the
7
wrong
down.
place.
There we go.
Which in the last year, Carl Icahn has been in the wrong place a few times, I think. That's like a really deep politics joke. 6 people got it.
That's wonderful. 11 down, I actually very much appreciated this of Robin in 11 down. It's a rigging need for Peter Pan or Mary Poppins in this particular version, of course, and the hard one being a wire. But in the set C of clues, it was clued as bra insert, wire. And Greg and I were discussing this, and I said, well, the first thing that came to my mind was not wire. I thought of water, jelly, big foam pads.
Right, I thought toilet paper, I don't know what.
You
goes
also
into a
said
bra.
money, weirdly.
Money, right?
Which I felt just opened up the gender divide once again.
Look, when I'm wearing a bra, I put money in it. That's just...
For you, it's a wallet. I get it.
Just don't tell my daughter who's sitting right there. Dan is standing in front of the part of the puzzle he hasn't filled in from my point of view, but he is very close to finishing.
Now, if you live in New York, the way Dan is standing right now is how you stand on a subway during rush hour with your feet as wide apart, leaning into the direction of the subway.
Dan appears to be done.
My goodness, that is impressive. Beautiful.
Just with about 8 minutes left.
Joon is at a steady pace, but he's shaking his head a couple times as if he's either confounded or just having a minute, or maybe it's a particular part that he's stuck on.
He's
tell.
looking at stuff like 42 across. Now I know better, but which actually ending with expect. I mean, I don't know what else it could be, but it's kind of one of those things you go, I don't know, this could be 1,000 things. Now I know better, but.
Now I know better, but. Ka.
I'm surprised. 37 down is I think one of the easier clues in the A set. It's sweets.
Sweets.
Starting with C, ending with S. Candies is the answer. You know. It could be a term of endearment.
But you know,
Cookies.
is it not that thing too, where it gets, if there's something easy like that, sort of within things that are much more complex and left turns, you guess yourself that it's going to be something that.
Or you think it could be a lot of different things, so I'll just leave it for a minute and get back to it.
That's right.
He's got a wrong thing for 47 down. Can you dig it? ? He's written load. L-O-D-E, which is a perfectly reasonable answer to that clue.
Yes.
But the correct answer, of course, is whole.
Whole. I appreciated 47 across clue also
in the
B set, which was darn it, whole. Aw. Any other sewers out there?
Very clever.
Okay.
I thought that was great.
My mother's never thrown away a pair of socks. I'm just going to say that, ever.
Joon also isn't sure what to do with 48 down, craft store stock. The middle letter is W, and the answer is alls. A-W.
Yes, well, when's the last time anyone went to a craft store for an awl? I don't know about you,
no.
But I stopped working with an awl at least 5 years ago.
I just get paste and, colored paper at the craft
Glitter,
store.
that's where you buy glitter?
Yeah. Alls belong in like a Timothy Parker novel. Somebody
right, that's exactly, they're used for stabbing.
But Joon has got it now, and he's done.
Oh, fantastic. All right, David is making it happen. He's actually. Oh, there you go.
He just rewrote a letter.
I know, it's quite beautiful.
In 14 across. It just looked like he had wrote for enjoy special status, and then when he had I am so sorry, he just changed it to an A.
That's
which is
right.
better. He doesn't believe Tex could be right. Tex, well, 4 down again. There's the S.E. Hinton novel. He's like that.
Yeah, you can't if you that's just like you either know it or you don't, and then you have to sit there and go, okay, but he's also
it could
thinking,
be hex, or hex would work with fish going across, though how Kid Rock clues fish.
What's the one for? Oh yeah, barbershop 38 down. Barbershop regular.
Yeah, base.
Base. See, I read that as bass, and I was like, do they serve trout and salmon at a barbershop, or
the
just
sushi
the bass?
barbershop.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, things happen where I.
No, it's that
go.
bass have to get their haircut more often than
I
other
understand.
fish.
I understand. And 56 across. Of course, clue differently depending on this name, but a woman's name meaning rock in Hebrew.
Ophira?
No.
Sela.
Ophira means not popular as a name.
All right. He's got Monte Carlo. This is a very highfalutin puzzle with Monte Carlo and Squaw Valley.
Right.
High rollers.
Yeah, this is all about
Corona cigars.
Although I like
I think we want to go to Robin's house.
I want to go to Robin's house. I do like 35 across. It's a fun little turn. The answer, of course, is tent, but the clue is good thing to have when you're out for the night. Wow. I guess if it doesn't go well, you always have your tent.
I think
it's a fun way to look at it. There he goes.
All right, David's got the T for Tex.
Nice job, everybody. I will say.
David has in 3 down, a smudgy letter at the bottom of that, but somebody, I'm sure, saw him write it in when he wrote it in. We know what that is. Also interesting, David didn't take the extra 3 minutes or whatever. He was like, look, I'm done. I know I'm done. I'm not going to.
We have results.
Fast.
All 3 finalists are correct. In third place, perfect in 11 minutes, 15 seconds, is David Plotkin. We have new trophies, by the way, this year with the ACPT logo on them. Second place, perfect in 9 minutes and 5 seconds, is Joon Pahk. And our new champion, same as an old champion, 8-time winner. Perfect in 6 minutes and 45 seconds, is Dan Feyer.
We should make it like the Stanley Cup, where we just keep adding instead of a wooden bowl every day.